4. We out here, baby. Gonna give y'all a second. Gonna give y'all a second. Yeah. Gonna give y'all a second here. Give y'all a second here. Live now. Gonna give y'all a second. Yeah. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up, everybody? Yeah. What's good, Susanna? Hello, welcome. Just shouted you out right as you asked. Good to see you guys today. Hopefully the link is all good. Hopefully. Oh, let's not get demonetized, even though I'm not monetized. Let's just hear it. Yo, what's good, Messy LAFC? My boy is back. Let's go. Just gonna tap in, make sure my story posted. I tried to do it beforehand this time, and in a couple minutes we're gonna start doing this ourselves. You know, we're gonna not W song, that's for sure. Just hoping it loads before we get into it. But we got a lot of stuff. Back for 3 weeks consecutively. Yes, sir. That's my boy right there, Messy LAFC. You know, he's got LAFC in the name, but he's my king still. Yo, Red Bull fan, 47, let's go. All right, I think we're almost ready to get started, but as you can see, oops, let me move the chat on here. Oops, nope. Let me just make the chat a little bigger. Actually, let's put the chat here today, right? I think that looks good. Okay, anyways, I guess I'm going to get started. I'll wait for a couple more people to join. Someone broke the Roblox servers. The hell? What the hell happened there? A DC fan or DC can? Can you do the can? But as you could probably tell on the screen here, we have tiers today because it is Tier List Tuesday, which is honestly my favorite day. Because I just get to yap at you guys for 90 minutes and, you know, you guys are supposed to listen to me or something like that. But today is a special tier list because we are doing the overrated and underrated challenge. And what's cool about that is the fact that you guys gave me all of my things that I'm ranking today. Everything that I'll be looking at were submitted by you guys on my Instagram polls. And I asked for things that were footy related. I asked for things that were just anything. And no matter what you give me, I will rank them as either very underrated, the top tier, underrated, slightly underrated, perfectly rated, which might be tough. I'll try not to use that one too much. That's a bit of a crutch. Slightly overrated, overrated, and very overrated. And if you see, we have 65 random things in here, and I'll explain all of them as I get to them because they're a little weird. They are definitely weird. There's a lot of things here. There's a lot of things you guys might not know. And that's okay because I'm here to enlighten you guys. That is what I do. FC Tulsa fan in the chat. Nice to meet you, Gage. Cool name too. But I say we just get into it right now. And the first thing here, it's a photo of the NYC FC MLS Cup, and the prompt for that was the 2021 MLS playoffs. And if any of you guys remember, the 2021 MLS playoffs were controversial, to say the least, because for NYCFC to get to MLS Cup that year, they had to get through the Philadelphia Union. And the issue with that was the Philadelphia Union had a bad case of the COVID. They were missing, I think, 10 out of their 11 starters due to COVID. I think it was the Eastern Conference Finals when they played each other, or it might have been the round before. But either way, the Philadelphia Union were the favorites in the East, right? And COVID struck them badly. And because of that, NYC got a quick walk to MLS Cup. And to be fair, they beat Portland. So it's not a Mickey Mouse. It's not a Mickey Mouse MLS Cup because they won. They were able to beat a healthy team. But their road to MLS Cup was Mickey Mouse. I'm sorry to all the NYCFC fans out there. So in terms of rating it, no one looks back at the 2021 MLS Cup playoffs as, oh my God, this was the best playoffs ever. So I'm not going to like say people overrate them, but they definitely don't belong with slightly, they don't belong to be, they're not underrated at all. Nothing good happened in that, I'd say. So I'm going to put them in slightly overrated. Next, we have Jim Curtin. Oh, you're on the end of my last short. Hey, nice, Susan. All right. Let's get to the next one. Jim Curtin is an interesting guy because he's been with the Philadelphia Union for years now. Yeah, we got overrated in the TikTok live. Yep. But Jim Curtin has been with the Philadelphia Union for many years, I believe. Let's see. Jim Curtin. We're going to look things up when we need to. We got to be statistically accurate. Always. But I'm pretty sure he's been with them since like 2016. 2014. Yeah, he's been around. Damn, he played for Chivas USA. Philadelphia in that time span have gone from a joke in the league and a relevant club to a consistently good team aside from this year. They've been a good team. However, the one thing they haven't been able to do is win MLS Cup. And I like Jim Curtin a lot. I think he is one of, if not the best coaches in MLS, at least American coaches. But the inability to win MLS Cup, and they were so close in 2022. Jimmy boy, and he follows me. I gotta be kind here. I'm actually gonna give him slightly overrated as well. But a great guy. Tucker Lepley. This is Tucker Lepley. He's if you don't know, he's a backup, a reserve midfielder for the Galaxy. And during the preseason, Galaxy fans were hyping him up, and deservedly so because he was great in the Galaxy preseason matches. However, this is why I don't care or watch preseason matches, man. Because the way the Galaxy fans, and I'm a Galaxy fan, were hyping up Tucker Lepley was if he was the second coming of, Jesus. He was going to be the homegrown. He was going to make his way into the squad and make a major impact. Has bro even played an MLS match? And I don't want to go harsh on him. Actually, we're going to move this to overrated. We're going to go slightly overrated because I do think he's got great potential and he showed a lot of good stuff. And maybe I'm sleeping on him because he's not getting minutes and I'm roasting him for not getting minutes. But Tucker Lepley, to me, just the way that he's hyped up to be within our fan base. Yeah. Carvana. Oh, no. So this was this prompt. Actually, you know what? Tucker Lepley, I'm going to put him slightly underrated. He's not like very underrated, but I'll still give him that because he did have good moments. I feel bad. I don't want to rank Tucker that low. This jersey. I was just asked to rank this jersey, the current home kit for the Chicago Fire. I like that they have the red back. That's a huge plus for me. Rest of it, the light blue, it's cool. I prefer the older blue more. Or even like, they should have gone with like a Chicago Cubs blue. Like, I think that screams Chicago more than this light blue. It's a clean kit. It's very reminiscent. I'm going to say, it's not hyped up. I'll put it slightly underrated for now. Kawhi Leonard. Let me see what the chat's going. Kawhi Leonard for me. Oh, yeah, here. So you guys could see who's coming up. Kawhi Leonard, man. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a Clippers fan. I'm a lifetime Clippers fan. I've been a Clipper fan. I was born into it. I'm a Clipper fan. And it's tough. It's been a tough life. And I almost missed the days that we were AS because of the expectations that were thrown on us when getting Kawhi Leonard and just the year and year of disappointment it's been with him. When he's healthy, he is undeniably maybe a top 5 NBA player, period. Not of all time, but in the game. But he's just never there when we need him most. And that was there in 2021 when he injured his knees. And at this point, we don't have any choice but to run it out with Kawhi. But if I had a choice, I would just get rid of him, definitely get rid of Harden, just restart. But we don't have a choice. We don't have draft picks or anything. I am going to put him in slightly overrated just because I can't stand him anymore. Not because of him as a person or him as a quality player, but he is just so tough to have on your team. To have him as your superstar is the most frustrating thing ever, unless you're a 2019 Raptors fan. Kyle Beckerman. I love this. I'm going to do Kyle Beckerman in a sec. What do y'all think in the chat? Yeah, it was our first red kit in years. It's crazy. Sorry, I can't look at the chat and the tier list at the same time, so I'll go both. Kyle Beckerman, though. All-time MLS minutes. I could swear Kyle Beckerman's top 3. Okay, that's a weird-ass site. Kyle Beckerman. No. What am I looking for here? Player records. We got goals. We have assists. Minutes played. Kyle Beckerman's number 2 all time in MLS was an absolute tank for years. For years. My boy's got the Rasta hair in this photo too. Kyle Beckerman is awesome. And I feel like he's getting slightly forgotten about. All-time MLS hair team. It's weird seeing him coach without the dreads now. Facts. But Kyle Beckerman, to me, it's crazy. I mean, it's just natural as time progresses. But I feel like, everyone's always like, Dax McCarty is the best defensive midfielder of all time. Diego Chara, Ozzy Alonso. People are forgetting about Kyle Beckerman. I think Kyle Beckerman, hot take, all time is better than Dax McCarty. And I think Kyle Beckerman's even an underrated USMNT player. He came up big sometimes, with the whole, he plays in MLS, he shouldn't be on the team. Bro is better than some of the non-MLS guys, better than Mix Discarud, better than Danny Williams. Was it Danny Williams or Derek Williams? What was his name? I think Danny Williams. Yeah, Danny Williams. Kyle Beckerman, do I put him in very underrated or under? Let's put him as underrated right now. Let's put him as underrated right now. He might go to very underrated soon. Oh, you think he should go to... What's up, Eddie? Good to see you again, brother. You know what? We'll put Kyle Beckerman in very underrated. I love that dude. He's one of my all-time favorite defensive midfielders. All right. Sorry, I got my cold brew. Next, we got FIFA 18. Someone asked about FIFA 18. And obviously, that was a World Cup match, or World Cup year. And I have very fond memories of me and my best friend, Max. We always play World Cup in 18 and 22. We do the World Cup as the USMNT, and we do, like, co-op together, where we're both on the field, and it's chaotic. And one of our most fond memories was winning the 2018 World Cup with the US in one night on a sleepover. It was freaking epic. FIFA 18 is not one of the goated FIFAs, in my opinion. But it's slightly underrated. Next, we have the Jordan 5. Someone asked about the Jordan 5. In terms of Jordan silhouettes, the most popular, well, it was the one, which is the one you think of when you think of Jordans. Let me show you. Jordan 1. When you think of Jordans, you probably think of this look. This is the Jordan 1. No one likes the 2, but the Jordan 3, which is my personal favorite, looks like this. But the most popular right now is the Jordan 4. Looks like this. Now, right now, I have to rank the Jordan 5. For me personally, the only pair I've ever owned was this pair. I traded them. The Jordan 5 is cool. They don't sell them a lot. They're not making a lot of them now. Kyle, I'm going to do whatever I do what I do, That's my answer there. But the Jordan 5, it's not my favorite. And the reason why I don't like it is because it's impossible to put on. You really have to just jam your feet in, and it just ruins the shoe when you do it. It's like almost impossible. I don't like the little tab. That being said, it's not a popular... It used to be more top. I'm just going to put slightly overrated. Next, we have Allianz Field. This is Minnesota United Stadium. It's a good stadium. I really like it. I visited it for the 2022 MLS playoffs, and I'm not going to dive in too hard on stadiums here because I'm going to do a stadium tier list in a couple of weeks, and you'll understand why. Because on decision day, I'm going to see a stadium that I haven't been to, and I'd rather rank it afterwards. Allianz Field's great. And I will say there's been a lot of new stadiums I've gone to in the last few years, like the Nashvilles, the Cincy's and stuff. And I think Allianz Field does get forgotten about a little bit. I think the seating pattern's pretty cool on it. So I am going to put it as underrated. Not slightly, not very, but it's a little underrated. Next we have I forgot what year this is, but I think it was 2022-23 Atlanta United away kit. The thing is it a good kit? Yeah. It's a good kit. However, it doesn't scream Atlanta United to me. I don't remember the story of it. I don't want to bore you guys looking it up right now. But to me, it's not, like, I wouldn't rock this kit. You know? And I know you're going to say, of course you wouldn't. You're a Galaxy fan. You guys know I wear, like, every jersey except for a certain clubs. But I think this is overrated. People hype this up. I don't like this one a lot. Jacob Schaffelberg. Schaff. My king. One of my favorite players in MLS. One of my favorite soccer players, period. He is lightning fast. He's got good finishing. He's got a heck of a mullet. Jacob Schaffelberg absolutely destroys the USMNT every time they play each other. Jacob Schaffelberg, to me, doesn't get the love he deserves. And that's why he's on this tier list. And for me, he's going on very underrated. Need I say more? Chat, what are you guys saying? Having a heated pitch is such a flex. I didn't realize that. The city and the forest. Anywho. Shaft's underrated. So this one I have to explain. It's a photo of BMO Stadium, which is LAFC Stadium. However, I'm not actually ranking BMO Stadium on this list. I'm ranking this. The prompt for this were the cookie cutter MLS stadium designs. And the guy who suggested this is my boy Swifty, who is an LAFC fan, which is why I chose LAFC Stadium. But in case you don't know, and I mentioned this a couple minutes ago when I was talking about Minnesota, pretty much all of the new stadiums that you see in MLS, Austin, Nashville, Cincinnati, St. Louis, LAFC, Columbus, they were all made by the same architecture company. And that's why a lot of them look very similar. And that's where the whole cookie cutter things, because they're so perfect, but they're also so similar at the same time. And do I like these designs? I do. I do like these designs. Are these stadiums the best I've ever seen? Yeah, for the most part. Pretty much all those stadiums are some of the best I've ever seen. However, and after going to Austin last week, it is getting a little repetitive. I think we could say that. So with that being said, slightly overrated. I'm going to put Jim Curtin in perfectly rated. I don't want to put too many as slightly, but slightly overrated. Joe Willis. Joe mother-tucking Willis, bro. Joe Willis is a great goalkeeper. He's been around for years. You know, he was good. He was decent on Houston. But then he's really coming to his own in Nashville. He is to Nashville what Brad Stuver is to Austin, you know? Just like a guy who's supposed to be a mid-level, a mid-level keeper, just your average MLS keeper, finds a home and just kills it. Let's look at the goalkeeper stats this year. While I take another sip. I don't even know who's leading the save categories. And all that. Player stats. Goalkeeping. Do we not have save stats? Oh, goalkeeper saves. Here we go. I think he's up there. I guess he's not up there. 97 though. It's not bad. That's like 3.5, three assists a game. Almost 4. 3.5. Do I get a clean sheet stat? Jesus, what happened to the MLS site? Anyways, when it's all said and done, is he very underrated? No, because I don't think he's really like a top goalkeeper, but he's underrated. We'll put him in underrated. Next, we just have Charlotte FC. You know? I try to limit the amount of just like blank club. Are they overrated or just like straight up club? Are they overrated or underrated? You know, this year, they've been really good. MLS kits are better than Liga MX. That is facts. Charlotte this year, I believe they're 6th seed. Last time I checked, they were. Yeah. They're going to make the playoffs for the first time in their history legitimately. You know, Charlotte FC, and I'm going to get to their... Actually, let's rank them and their fans at the same time. Because someone also said Charlotte FC supporters. But Charlotte FC, they're about to make the playoffs for the first time in their career. They came in pretty hot, in a sense, with their fandom. You know, their first ever match I was at, 75,000 people there. Galaxy 1 was pretty dope. But Charlotte FC in general, I think they've done a pretty decent job at growing, you know, the fan base and the culture around the club in such a short time. And they've paid their dues. You know, they started off pretty poorly. Then last year they were, you know, a wild card spot. And this year they're going to fully make the playoffs with a decent squad. Pretty decent, I'd say underrated squad. And then their fans are amazing. I think they have really good fans, amazing support, some of the loudest fans in the league. And it just sucks that they don't have a proper supporter section because they play in an NFL stadium. That's not their fault. But just imagine what they could do if they had a wall like the, you know, LAFC or Austin. If they had like that proper wall, I think they would be considered like the best fans in MLS, or not the best, but, you know, really up there. But as a club, slightly underrated. Fans, very I said very underrated. We're gonna say underrated because there have been viral clips of their fans, so they're not like very underrated. Like people know about them, you know. Kevin Cabral. Kevin Cabral. Kick game strong. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Kevin Cabral. He's good. I mean, listen, we meme on him. We roast him. Especially being a Galaxy fan, I have every right to roast Kevin Cabral. However, he's not been that bad for the Rapids. He's injured, but he has like 6 goals, 4 assists, which aren't great stats, but they're not bad. They're just not good. If he wasn't a DP, man, he'd be underrated. I would put him as underrated. But because he's a DP, he gets taxed. But he's not overrated at all. Because no one's hyping him up. Kevin Cabral, you're perfectly rated. I think he's definition of perfectly rated. Next, we have the Digs. I love the Digs. This is my home stadium, Dignity Health Sports Park, in Carson, Los Angeles, California. And I'll talk about this more when I do my stadium tier list. It's underrated as hell. You know, it's one of the oldest. I think it is the oldest soccer-specific stadium in use. In use, because Historic Crew Stadium isn't used by the Crew anymore. Maybe the Capybaras, but I'm talking about MLS stadiums. They are up there. I mean, the fact that it's still so nice. It's been open as long as I've been a Galaxy fan. It was the Home Depot, then StubHub Center. My only knock on it is I wish, you know, there was better soundproof for the Galaxy fans, but we'll talk about that more in a couple weeks. Putting the Digs in very underrated. Now that's too biased. Underrated. Maybe I'll put him very underrated. It's very underrated. Am I glazing? Probably. But this is my tier list. You guys asked for it. Next, we have Josh Sargent, who I actually just mentioned in a video last week. Josh Sargent. It's interesting because he's cooking for Norwich right now. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists in 9 matches. Does he deserve the USMNT call-up from Poch? I mean, yeah, he deserves to be on the squad. Do I think he should be the starter? Right now, Balogun's out, so keep that in mind when I'm talking about him. Maybe, I think there's been times where he has been overrated, and maybe that was a Berhalter thing for using him too much. I don't really believe in his goal-scoring abilities yet, although he's off to a good start this season. He is in the championship, bear in mind. No joke league, but, it's not like the Bundesliga, or it's not the Premier League. Overall, though, I think he is slightly underrated because he is a good playmaker. That doesn't get talked about enough. Next, we have this photo of Alexi Lalas, and we are not ranking Alexi Lalas. We are actually ranking the 1996 Revs kit. This one's a banger. When I think of early MLS, actually, we're going to do the Columbus one too. Because I got 2 1996 kit. Let's just look at 1996 MLS kits. What happened to this era, man? These were the golden years and we didn't know it yet. I wasn't even alive yet, so it doesn't count for me. But these were all just spectacular. Actually, they're not all spectacular. But a lot of these are gorgeous. I would rock that Revs one. Obviously, I'd rock the Galaxy one. The Tampa Bay Mutiny one goes crazy. I just want to make sure you guys see it on the screen. Yeah, you guys see it. Tampa Bay Mutiny one. Here, let me do like that. Gorgeous. I would rock that. This Revs one screams America. Bring back the Crayola flag. Crayola crayon flag. Bring that back. Metro Stars, I'd rock. The Wiz, I prefer the retro kit, the third kit that they have this year, better than this one. That's a little too crazy for me. This Columbus one we'll talk about. But the question is it overrated or underrated? We know it's an amazing kit, but are people hyping it up to be an amazing kit? I believe they are. And that's the tricky part about this tier list as a whole, where we have to rate things. This isn't like, best to worst, right? Kawhi Leonard, he's in my slightly overrated tier, but he would be on the top of this tier if I was ranking these things from best things to worst things, because he's an all-time great. I think this Revs kit is perfectly rated. I think people hype it up to be a great kit, and I believe it is a great kit. Yep, I got my Cienfuegos. Cappy, no, but you're about to see, yeah, you're coming up here. Columbus Crew, though, I don't like this one. I don't like this one a lot. Here, you could see it a little better here. I don't love this shirt. The stripes are in a weird spot for me. The colorway's great. Yellow and black, always great. I'm going to put it slightly overrated. It's not my favorite kit, guys. Dejan Joveljic. We got a player. I haven't seen the Travis Scott performance at MetLife, bro. I'm sorry. Sorry for disregarding the TikTok chat, but there's only 2 of you there, so we talking YouTube chat. You have that one, Cappy? I just think it's just not my favorite. It's just not my favorite of the OG kits. Dejan Joveljic, though, this is about him now. Let's look at the stats. First of all, Dejan, when he came to MLS, and we'll look at the stats alongside this. His first year was 2022. Oh, it was 2021. My bad. But 2022, we'll talk about. He was a super sub. He was playing behind Chicharito. He was an amazing super sub striker to have. Then last year, Chicharito went down, and we had to make him the starter. Last year, Chita went down, and Joveljic had to become the starter. And we saw him not really play super well as the starter. And the thing is with Joveljic, and he's proved me wrong on this a couple of times, but I've always believed that he needs service. And I say this a lot about strikers. I don't mean to be a striker hater. But you look at the jump from 2023 to 2024, 6 goals in 32 to 15 and 27. It's all about the service, man. Last year, he had Douglas Costa feeding him. And Ricky, but Douglas Costa on the wing. This year, Gabriel Peck, Joseph Painso. And he's just getting better. His natural progression as a striker. He's just getting better. So, for me, Dejan, I think he's slightly underrated. I don't think anyone hypes him up to be a GOAT. Feyenoord. This is an interesting one. Feyenoord. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, I'm an owner of Orange County SC, a USL club, which we'll get to later. But one of the cool things about Orange County SC is that we have partnerships with European clubs that we send players to, and we've sold a few players there. And Feyenoord is actually one of them. It's Feyenoord and Rangers. Those are the two ones that we talk about. And Feyenoord, as a whole, you know what? I think when people talk about the Eredivisie, people only talk about PSV and Ajax. Feyenoord, they're up there with them. And they're a good team. But I think people know that. I'm going to put them at perfectly rated for now. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to get more to drink. Just chill for a minute. And I'm going to... Yeah, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm back. Yeah, I just need to get more to drink because I be yapping. Anywho, let's get back. Yeah, LAFC is partnered with Bayern, but who started? Like, have they sent anyone to Bayern yet? You know, we've sent a couple players to Feyenoord. And speaking of Feyenoord, this is a great transition. We have Cole Bassett, who tested his luck. Going from the Rapids to Feyenoord. Didn't quite work out. However, Cole Bassett now on the Rapids. When you think of the Colorado Rapids, you think of Zach Steffen and Georgi Mihalovic. Cole Bassett, I'd argue, has been just as important to this Rapids team as those guys. Maybe doesn't have as big of numbers, but he's just been absolutely fantastic for them. He doesn't get the credit. He's still only 23 years old. Yeah, 9 goals, 7 assists this year. He's having a career year. This is his best season. I think Cole Bassett's a great player. And I think he's borderline all-star. I think he's underrated. Let's stick with that. Damn, I haven't put anything in very overrated yet. Should I do that real quick? Hey, San Diego Padres fans. Hey, San Diego Padres. God, I hate the Padres. They're so annoying. I hate them. I hate the Padres. I'm a Dodgers fan. Padres have always been Lil Bro, and now they think they big bro. Y'all are still Lil Bro. And the thing is, I saw a stupid tweet the other day where it was talking about, the Padres filling up their stadium, and they're like, hey, Dean Spanos, who's the owner of the Chargers, like, I bet you regret, us. I bet you regret leaving such a vibrant sports city. 2 years ago, none of those fans were there. So San Diego Padres, get your ass in very overrated. Okay, now that we've done that, we got Nickelback. Now I got a story about Nickelback. The year was 2017. A younger Eli and his best friend Max started listening to Nickelback as a joke. We were like, everyone hates Nickelback. Let's be cool and like start listening. Let's be edgy and start listening to Nickelback just because everyone hates them. And like, let's be like Nickelback fans, right? You know? So I was just checking the chat. And they came to LA. And we're like, hey, let's go to a Nickelback concert. As a joke. It'd be really funny. And we even got there and we bought $45 Nickelback shirts. Which is like the most I'd ever spent on a t-shirt at that point in my life. I was 17, bro. I didn't have $45 like that usually. And we were in the very last row. Very back. And to say that that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to would be an understatement. And people hate Nickelback maybe for different reasons, but I think most people hate Nickelback because it's cool to hate Nickelback. Do I think their music is complex? No. But does it get the job done? It really does. And you know who always got the job done? Kyle Beckerman. Nickelback. Join Kyle Beckerman on the very underrated tier. I said it. Shoot me. I don't care if you hate Nickelback. But if you hate Nickelback, do you hate Nickelback because you don't like them? Or it's because everyone else hates them? That's all I'm going to say. Very underrated. Screw it. Never made it as a wise man. I couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. And this is how you remind me. Yeah, you cannot tell me that that is not one of the greatest rock songs of all time. Yes, it was overplayed at the time. That doesn't matter. Nickelback is Nickelback. I'm putting them on very underrated. Screw it. Chris Wondolowski. I was very excited when someone gave me this one. And I put it on my, I put it on the thumbnail. So let's take some time with Chris Wando. First of all, absolute homie. I met him, which is crazy. Let's look at the stats. The consistency, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in a row of scoring double-digit goals. Yeah, he had a slow start to his career. It is what it is. But, man, 2010, and I know he won MVP in 2012, which he deserved at the time. And that San Jose Earthquake squad, man, they were scary. As a Galaxy fan, man, I was scared. The consistency is amazing with Chris Wondolowski. And the problem is, no one can think about Chris Wondolowski without thinking about the stupid miss in the World Cup against Belgium in 2014. I know. And that's the thing. People will be like, ooh, that's the top MLS goal scorer of all time? Oh my God. And he plays for the Earthquakes, which doesn't help his cause here as, GOAT. But he is the all-time leading MLS scorer. I heard someone in the chat say Kamara is better. I beg to differ. Kamara's been around longer, but Chris Wondolowski in his prime, man, I think he had a better prime than Kai Kamara. And I don't think he gets that respect. And I think as time goes on, he's going to get less and less respect. So I'm going to put Wando in underrated. I said it. Oh, this one I wanted to... The next one's my favorite. Sorry, man. We got a lot to get through. Hated for one moment. That's what I'm saying. Bro was just hated for one moment. It's stupid, man. All right. Now this one. It's not just NCAA men's soccer. But it's NCAA men's soccer as a path to pro. And I'm going to instantly put it at very underrated. Some of the best players over the last few years that have been sold from MLS to Europe are super draft picks, are college players. You look at Tajon Buchanan, he's a big one. Daryl Dike, a big one. When Duncan McGuire eventually gets sold, he's one of them. to me, nothing beats the Super Draft because, first of all, it's very American, and I love that. But I went to Syracuse University, as many of you guys know, and we have a great men's soccer program. And throughout my time there, I've seen many players who were overlooked at the academy level. Didn't make certain academy teams, and probably weren't going to go pro without the college system. They go through college, they become stars, and they go to MLS and they're regular starters. And there's a few of those guys. Some of the notable guys from Syracuse over the last few years: Kamal Miller, Miles Robinson, Tajon Buchanan. All those guys would have been lost in the shuffle had it not been for the college path to pro. I am the biggest MLS Super Draft advocate because of things like that. I think any pathway to pro is a valid pathway to pro, and we have to make sure that, those pathways remain, because we talk about American soccer in this country, and the biggest problem, we talk about soccer in this country, and one of the biggest problems is always, pay to play, so many players don't get scouted. Well, college is a way where you could, get picked up, you get a full scholarship to get a degree while you're playing. And what I love about college soccer more than, academy soccer is, you're really playing for something. And I think that's something that gets lost in the shuffle for, other sports as well. When NBA tried to have like G League teams for draft prospects, when you are playing college sports, it feels like a professional environment. And you're really playing on a team. A lot of those G League guys, they're really just playing for themselves individually. And that's what happens in a lot of academies as well. And in NCAA soccer, you have to learn how to be a team player. And I think that is so valuable for the professional level. And if it doesn't work out at the pro level, I've seen many players, who came from Stanford and, they tried MLS, didn't quite work, even some that were early draft picks. I remember my boy Tomas Hilliard-Darce from the Galaxy. He tested his luck in the draft. I think he was like second or third overall. And he came out of Stanford, didn't get a lot of minutes with the Galaxy. Now he's using his degree to do awesome things. So for me, NCAA soccer as a pathway to pro is extremely underrated. I'm gonna even put at the top of this. It's so important, guys. It is so important. And speaking of college and speaking of Syracuse football right now, we are 3-1. The only game we lost was to a last-second field goal. Yet I look at the coaches' polls, and by the way, we've beaten 2 ranked teams already. I look at the coaches' polls. We aren't even an option at other receiving votes. We're not even top 25, and we're not even an honorable mention. Very underrated. Kamal Miller and I are tight, by the way. I'll get him on stream one day. Oh, call him a legend. Daryl Dike, exactly. Well, he went to Virginia because I saw him play live, and Jesus, man, that was a man amongst boys. Here we have it. I have a question for you guys. Have your eyes seen the glory of the Capybara Club? I don't think so. Let me see. It should be here. And yes, I'm exposing Kyle. Also, this is a really funny clip. I just found that funny. All the comments here are like, please have it. The 12th is my delete this. Everyone's saying like, everyone's getting bullied for this. All these delete this. Anyways, with this chant, and I think the prompt was with the capybaras in general. That was exactly a year ago. It's the anniversary. Capybaras, they got hated on. You know, Columbus, great fans. Some of their chants are not the best. But I think this video is so endearing. And that's my honest thought. It is so endearing to see it. You know, the fact that these guys are supporting their club's second team harder than they support their first team almost. I know Capybara Takeover, your account is literally Capybara Takeover. I'm not trying to glaze you, Kyle. I will never glaze you. Put you guys very underrated. No, that's too nice. We'll put you in underrated for now. Oh, it's me! Eli Lesser TV. I should be humble. Put myself here. But maybe I shouldn't be humble for once. Because for those of you who don't know, I started making MLS content over 9 years ago now. I was in middle school when I started heading into high school. Throughout all my years of high school, I started building up my page. And then throughout college, I managed college and being consistent with this, started making videos. And now I'm out of college and, I'm looking for ways to make this my full-time thing. That's why I started streaming. So eventually, not to leech off you guys, but, I need donations eventually when that's a possibility. I'm not even monetized yet. That's how small the YouTube is. But Instagram, that's been the biggest platform. I haven't asked for much in my time. I'm not talking about money for you guys, but I haven't asked for much respect throughout my years. But the one thing that will always irk me is the fact that I've been the voice of MLS on Instagram, voice of MLS fans for years, yet I don't get a media vote. I'm not a part of any of that stuff. And I have a larger platform than pretty much anyone else that does participate in that spot. And you can make the excuse, hey, I'm not a proper journalist. I have a journalism degree. I would just like some sort of recognition, even just the little smallest, getting media credentials for MLS All-Star was a great move in the right direction. But it's tough, the year-end voting, All-Star voting. I don't get like a special ballot. I don't get any of that stuff. And I just it feels weird because I've been around longer than a lot of people. I have bigger platforms than a lot of people that do get that stuff. So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say, oh, like I need this stuff. Please do it. And whatnot. Or like give me a job, which, would be great. MLS, give me a job. But I do feel like I've paid my dues. That's what I'm trying to say. I've paid my dues. And really all I'm asking is for like a simple vote, like a say, I don't know. So screw it. This is my stream. We're going to put me at underrated. Very underrated. Because the one thing with that, and this is something that keeps getting brought up to me, which is why I'm going to say it, is like I was in Austin the other week. I was on We Are Austin TV, and my boy Hernan was telling me how when he started We Are Austin TV, he looked at me as the biggest inspiration, and that's happened with a few people, and I'm not trying to gloat here. That has happened, and that's been one of the most rewarding things of what I've done in this community. It's my biggest thing has always been I wanna make it for everyone, but also I want to make it so that everyone has a seat at the table. I need to get my seat at the table first, but and that's a frustrating thing as well. There's a lot of pressure at me to make it because a lot of people, which I don't think is true, but a lot of people think that if I don't make it, they can't make it either. And that's a little scary, but the goal is to make it so we don't have to worry about that stuff. But I'm rambling on, but I just feel like I deserve a little respect, just a little respect from the league. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I know this Eli guy. But, anyways, sorry, I'll stop talking about myself. Who I really want to talk about is my best friend, Max. And someone put Max in here. Max didn't put himself in here. He would never put himself, in this situation. I'm going to say he's my boy. unpin. Max and I have known each other since we were in pre-K. 4 years old. What happened was, so I went to a Jewish nursery school. So on Friday there was challah, and the way it all started was basically Max was sitting alone because he was the new kid. I was like kind of cool back then. And you know, as a kid, I never shared my food. That was the one thing I would never do to anyone. But I saw this kid sitting alone, and I felt bad, and I went up to him, and I offered him a piece of my challah, and we've been pretty much best friends ever since then. But anyways, in terms of him being underrated, overrated, I'll stop boring you with this stuff. Bro's so underrated. And the thing is, he doesn't realize how freaking awesome he is a lot of the time. He's starting to realize it now. But for years, you know, I had to be his only hype man. I was his only hype man, but now he's finally seeing it in himself. I'm so proud of him. He's going up here with me and very underrated. Actually, that makes me want to put myself lower. Because Max deserves to be very underrated, I'll put myself in underrated. Portland of Pines, Heart of Pines. This badge. What do y'all think about this badge? It is very hyped up. This badge is very hyped up. So you tell me what you think of this. Do I think Chicago could make the playoffs next year? Absolutely not. Crap! I forgot to record the whole time. I haven't been recording. Eli! Wait, I got text Shine. Okay, my bad, bro. I forgot to hit record. And we... some bangers. Gonna need... Might be, bro. Anywho. One of the craziest USL badges. I like it too. But it is hyped up. It is a special badge, I'd say. You know what? This is the definition of perfectly rated. I think it's a beautiful badge. I think it's a beautiful badge. That's it. I think it's beautiful. And everyone knows it's beautiful. Chicago Fire Nemanja Nikolic. One of the guys of one of the guys of all time. But what y'all know about 2017? Oh yeah, he was in my search history because I looked for the photo. What y'all know about 2017 Nemanja Nikolic? The one season that Chicago Fire were good in the last decade. This man dropped 24 on them heads. I think he's underrated, but I think he's slightly underrated. Damn, all the strikers are going in slightly underrated. Am I just not ranking anything overrated? We're going to move you down. That's good for now. That's good for now. The Kazakhstan, so this is the Kazakhstan national team badge, but the prompt was the Kazakhstan League. Whoa. Y'all know about the Kazakhstan League? Y'all know about Jasurbek Yahishuboev? Oh, Joao Paulo. So that's a name. Kazakhstan Premier League. What you know about the Kazakhstan Premier League? Have any other teams ever made Europe? Clearly, I don't know. But look at a league where the titles are evenly distributed, except for Astana going crazy for like 6 years in a row. That's crazy. Look how evenly distributed this is. I respect that. Which is why I believe the Kazakhstan League is underrated. It's not very underrated. I mean, they're not making Europe, you know? They're on Europe like that. Anyways, let's get to the next one. Let me see if Cheyenne texts me back. This one, Herbalife Nutrition as the Galaxy sponsor. Herbalife Nutrition as the Galaxy sponsor. It's terrible. But everyone knows it's terrible. It's a Ponzi scheme sponsor. It's my least favorite thing about the Galaxy. I'll tell you that. It's perfectly rated because no one F's with it. And deservedly so. Done. Joseph Pencil! Oh, baby, you and I. Oh, baby, you and I. All right, Joseph Pencil. So, obviously, at the start of this season, he was electric. As the season's gone on, he hasn't played very well, and we talked about this last week. But that's because he had to move to left wing, his non-natural position. He's doing the best he can. I think he's perfectly rated. I don't think he's overhyped. But he's not underrated either. Goalie Wars. Goalie Wars as a concept is awesome. For those of you who don't know, Goalie Wars is a thing they do where goalkeepers are facing each other. Nets are like 20, 30 feet apart. And you're just trying to score on the other goalkeeper. You could throw it, you could kick it, you could dive. It's electric. However, MLS has decided to bring it back for the All-Star Skills Challenge over the last 2 years, which is a great idea. I love that idea. Bring the goalkeeper wars. It's something they did back in the day. So lit. But they're doing it with MLS Next Pro keepers. And I believe they're only doing it in commercial breaks. I don't think the viewers at home get to watch it. Which sucks. So I think the league itself is underrating it. I think this is the most entertaining skill game they have. And I think it would be even better if they had Roman Berkey and Hugo Lloris doing it. No disrespect to the MLS Next Pro guys, but imagine having the big dogs do this. Explain goalkeeper wars to Hugo Lloris. I want to see his mind. I want to look at his face when I explain goalie wars to him. So in that regard, it is very underrated because MLS is underrating it. We all know it's great. It should be perfectly rated. But MLS is underrating it, so it goes to very underrated. I'm being way too nice this stream. Slightly overrated. Tucker. I'm going back to slightly overrated. Sorry, I'm just being too harsh this stream. I mean, look how many people are here. Next time I do the over underrated, I'll do something here. This one. Oh, Lynn Family Stadium in Kentucky. I had the privilege of going there to watch Eintracht Frankfurt play a friendly against Louisville City FC. And I was pretty blown away by the stadium. Now, does it compare to some of the best MLS stadiums I've been to? Not necessarily, but we're talking about a USL Championship stadium. And out of the ones that I've seen, in person and then over TV, it blows all the other stadiums out of the water. I mean, we talked about earlier with Charlotte, how, Charlotte FC, because they're in an NFL stadium, they don't have like a proper supporter wall. Louisville City FC has that supporter wall. It's awesome. I was pretty blown away. I'm going to put in slightly underrated though. It's because it's not like the greatest stadium I've ever seen. It's not up there with Allianz per se, but it's a pretty damn, actually slightly underrated for you. Let's do that. It is better Allianz is better, but more underrated. Nobody knows about Lynn Family Stadium. It's a great place. Lloris has never saved a penalty in his life. That's funny. You're not wrong either. Haaland. Erling Haaland, man. Is he the best player in the world right now? For me, he's top 5. He's top 5. But is he number 1? Because I think that's what the conversation is. Do you guys think Haaland's the best player in the world right now? For me, probably, gun to my head, I'd probably say Mbappe. And actually, let's do Jude Bellingham at the same time. Because Bellingham and Haaland have been compared. Or, they're kind of considered like two of the top 5. And I'd put them in my top 5. Vinny Jr., I think, is more overrated than these guys. No offense, but just the way he played for Brazil is just big turnoff. Haaland, for me, he's going to end up all time like Zlatan. And that could be said as a respect, as a W for Haaland or an L for Haaland. Maybe people think he's better than Zlatan or think he'll be better. For me, that's where he's going to end. He's one of those guys that's going to have minimal national team success just because of where he's from. But club success, he's going to score a bunch of goals, and it's amazing. I do think he disappears a lot in big matches. That's been a big thing with him. So because of that, I'm going to put him slightly overrated. Is he a top 3 player in the world? I would say yes. But he's not number 1. I don't think he's number 1. I don't think you should too. I think Jude Bellingham's overrated. This might be a hot take. Jude Bellingham's a fantastic player. Do not get me wrong. But he's, aside from Dortmund, but like on the clubs that he's on, he's on Madrid. He's on England. He's on these stacked teams. And he does a great job on those teams, except for in a lot of he had a meh Euros. Not the best. I'm going to put them together and slightly overrated. I don't think he's overrated, but slightly overrated because when you're on a team like Madrid, it's hard to stand out. And, you got other best players in the world on that team as well. If you think he is the undeniable best player on that Madrid side, then I get it. Maybe it goes to my, some of the MVP. And I don't know. I'd keep him right there. I think that's a good spot for him. For them. McDonald's Uber Eats League or whatever it's called. Ligue 1. I think it's underrated. I think it's slightly underrated. It is, when I say it's underrated, I'm not trying to say it is in the top 4 leagues. It is a top 5 league. That's what it's considered as. I'll give it the respect of that. I'll give it the respect. But it's definitely never cracking the top 4. But you got to think about it. So many great players come from that league. They're great at developing, and they are called a farmers league, and I get it. But for that, I mean, some of the best players in the world have come from there. I mean, Mbappe. You look at Mbappe. He's born and bred league. But yeah, I mean, they're a fine league. No one's considering them to be the best league in the world, but they have quality, and it's cool. I just noticed that a bunch of Canadians are there now. I didn't realize that that's where they're all going. I mean, we have Jonathan David, Bombido, Theo Bair. A lot of Canadians are in there right now. It's cool. I don't watch a lot of Ligue 1, but John Gallagher. It's crazy to think. John Gallagher was like an MLS All-Star last year. The fall-off's been not great. Let's do Foot Mob. Let's do Foot Mob for John Gallagher. Yeah, not great. Decent run of form. I'm about to sneeze. I like John Gallagher, though. But I don't think he's, like, massively underrated. Yeah, don't sleep on the Canadians. I didn't realize half the comments. I'm not going to sleep on the Canadians. Oh, I think, what's his face? Kone, he's there now. Marseille, right? I think. Do I have ball knowledge? John Gallagher, for a while, he was, like, very underrated. Now people kind of know. He's still slightly underrated. Kelvin Yeboah. Minnesota fans were mad at me last week with the tier list video. Thank you for the bless you on TikTok. It's not Ligue 1. It's Ligue. Kelvin Yeboah. People thought I was sleeping on him, so I think for that he's underrated because I do think he's a great player, and he's been a great signing for Minnesota. And I think because he plays for Minnesota, no one really knows or cares, but that's why he's underrated. So I'll give you that. This one, as you can see here, is the current the current MLS playoff format. We have 25 minutes to go, by the way. Put these two next to each other. The current MLS playoff format is not my favorite. I don't love the best of 3 in the first round. If it was just all knockouts, I was fine with that. I thought that was perfect. People like it, I think. I'm going to put it in overrated, though. I think it's overrated. Gareth Southgate. I thought about this one for like 5 minutes before the stream. And Eli minutes, that's a long time. I don't use my brain. Gareth Southgate. It's weird. He's one of the weirdest coaches ever because his tactics suck. But his teams always make it far, but they also underperform because he has the best squads. But they still make it to the championships, but they don't win the championships. And then everyone hates on Southgate. So is he overrated or underrated? I need the chat's help for this one. In the chat, let's talk about Gareth Southgate. Yeah, I genuinely don't know where to rank Gareth Southgate, like at all. I don't know. Maybe do I put him in perfectly rated? But is he underrated low-key? You agree with my Charlotte ratings? I think you were the one who... Were you the one who gave me the Charlotte ones? Southgate is properly rated. I think that's fine. Let's do that. I don't want to talk about this, I don't know, buttery crumpet anymore. Carlos Heel! We talked about this last week. I do think people are sleeping on Carlos Heel. Because the refs are trash. He didn't have the best year statistically, but just every time I watch him play, and this is why I still consider him a top player in MLS, every time I watch him play, he's just different. He's got arguably the best left foot in MLS history. That might be a hot take. But I genuinely believe that Carlos Heel might have the best left foot in MLS history. The way he could send in crosses, the way he could shoot from outside the box. I do believe I'm a Carlos Heel truther. I'm a Carlos Heel stan. That being said, he's only slightly underrated because people know. I mean, he won MVP a couple of years ago. So, yeah. I'm a big Carlos Heel believer. That number's fine. Sorry, just looking at the chat and all that. Anywho, we only have a few more things left. We're ranking 65 things today. Mo Farsi of the Columbus Crew. You know, he's had his bad moments for sure for the Columbus Crew. However, he just gets Wilfried Nancy's system. And I think he's very important. He's an underrated piece for this Columbus Crew. Because they've had some stars go in and out, Zelarayan and all that. They've had players go in and out. But Mo Farsi is really he just got the system. And that's so valuable where you have players, maybe like a John Gallagher, who I just ranked a couple seconds ago. They just buy in. And that's almost more important to have players that like him than your star players who maybe aren't bought in all the time. Like, not to talk about Austin more, but Sebastian Driussi right now is not bought in. The Italians on Toronto are not bought in. Mo Farsi just that rolled guy, that utility guy, that glue guy. I think he's important. Did he have like own goals or something, Farsi? I could have sworn he had a couple back in the day or some slip-ups. But for me, Mo Farsi is very underrated. Players like him are so important to successful football teams, clubs. Ricky Push! Ricky, boosh. Damn, we got 3 white caps. That's crazy. Ricky, boosh. He's perfectly rated. I mean, I will not let any of you guys tell me he's overrated. I'm not doing that. I ain't doing that shit. He's not overrated at all. He should be an MVP guy. Where would I rate Josh Cohen, man? I don't want to talk about Josh Cohen just because I love the guy, but I don't have nice things to say about him, if I'm being honest, as a player. He was not good at the end of his Haifa run, and, he's not. There's a reason why Brad Guzan's starting at goalkeeper for Atlanta. Sorry, YoPro. I know you're my boy and stuff, but anyways. Yeah, I'm not going to put Ricky as underrated. Maybe in like the grand scheme of football right now, he's a little underrated. But in terms of MLS, I think he gets the credit he deserves. And I don't think he gets too much credit. So, perfectly right. Now we have some pastas. Yeah, y'all were on the pasta train for some reason. So I got pink vodka sauce. And for me, it's overrated. It is not in my top 5 sauces, pasta sauces. Don't make me count my top 5. For me, though, nothing will ever beat bolognese. I need a meat sauce. Or at least if it's tomato sauce, give me a meatball. We go hard for the meatballs. Pause. I didn't just say that on live. That's crazy. But pause. Pink vodka sauce, though, you don't taste the vodka. It's just cream. I'm not like a big cream guy, So, yeah. And I think people like to think it's like super fancy and good, but it's overrated for me. Penne, man. Penne is like the cover athlete of pastas. Penne and spaghetti. However, penne, it's a little basic, For me, penne is like a kid's pasta. It's like what you get off the kids' menu. For that, actually, vodka sauce, we're going to go very overrated. We need more there. I'm going to put penne. Penne is overrated. It is overrated. It gets the job done, which is cool. But out of the 2 pastas, the tubes, if you want, I don't know how to say this without sounding sus, but if you want pasta, if you want pasta that's going to suck up the sauce, especially like a bolognese, penne, it's too tiny of a tube. Unlike rigatoni is my second favorite pasta, I would say. If I'm getting bolognese, rigatoni is the perfect thing. It sucks up the meat. Very underrated. Actually, it's underrated because I think people know about rigatoni. People know about rigatoni. Polar bears. Save the polar bears. That's for sure. I need a tissue. 1 sec, boys. Save the polar bears. I love polar bears. Polar bears should be the Alaska United. Polar bears should be the Alaska United mascot. They're cute. They're awesome. I do think they're overrated. Because people are like, oh, polar bears are the cutest little things. You just want to cuddle up with them and all that. But they're going to kill you. They're going to eat you. And I think grizzly bears are cuter. I said it. I think grizzly bears. The Grizzlies. Not the team. But the Bears, I'm a fan of the Bears. Red Bull Arena. We're going to get to the stadium tier list, like I said, in a couple weeks. So I'm not going to go too much, but I do think it's slept on, and unfortunately it's slept on by their fans. Slightly underrated though. So these are the new PSG ones. I put them on my story because I copped them. Beautiful shoe in my opinion. But in a group chat I'm in, I got flamed. Not because they're PSG shoes, but because of the gradient toe. So you can see here. Gradient toe. I got flamed! Because apparently gradient toes aren't it. I am not a Chicago Bears fan. I don't hate myself that much. Well, I'm a Chargers fan. Hell nah. I like the gradient toe. I'm very happy with the PSGs. And the fact that they're sitting right now at Nike. I went to the Nike store yesterday and they were sitting. Underrated. I'm going to need to start moving some of this stuff down. I will. Because I don't have OCD. I don't know if I have OCD or not, but for me, I can't go beyond 2 lines. Or I can't. They all have to be like evenly on 1 line. Someone commented on the last one saying, yeah. AFC Richmond. Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, I love. Amazing show. Goated show. I think it deserves all the praise. But we're not talking about Ted Lasso right now. We are talking about the club. The totally real club, AFC Richmond. And can I be honest? Who on AFC Richmond is a world-class player? Have you ever sat and thought about that? Who on AFC Richmond is a world-class player, yet they walk around like they're the GOATs, almost win the league. Spoiler alert. So wishy-washy. There's just no way that they would go from promoted to almost winning the league. I'm putting them. I love Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is perfectly rated. AFC Richmond. AFC Richmond is it's overrated. It's overrated. Terrible club. Overrated club. A Braves fan? The hell? I'm not a Braves fan, that's for sure. Neymar, man. He insert the Star Wars, you were the chosen one. He was the chosen one. And he tried to be the chosen one on PSG. Didn't quite work out. He's a little bit of a flopping bitch. Now he's in the Saudi League. Neymar's career as a whole for me. Okay, skill-wise. Neymar is properly rated, but his whole legacy for me is overrated. When I look back, actually the thing is though, when I look back at the 2010s, in 30 years, I will remember Neymar. He is a player that I won't forget. But maybe that's for better or for worse though. Let's do this one last. Now we got the Whitecaps. Mayan, are you still here, Breda? Jamie Tart is not a world-class player. Jamie Tart is not a world-class player. If he was a world-class player, he wouldn't have been loaned to Richmond from City. Danny Rojas, not a world-class player. He's meant to be Chicharito, so yeah. Not a world-class player. The Whitecaps. I'm going to actually, before we get into that, let's do some cleaning here. Is there anything you guys disagree with here? Actually, goalie wars? I'm actually going to move to slightly overrated. I said it. I'm going to say Allianz Field is perfectly rated. I keep dropping it. I just want to make room. All right, we got to move something from this tier. This is tough. You know what? Screw it. Let's just do that. So I'm humble now. Ew, I don't want to be next to the Padres. Anything else? I want to make sure we have spots saved. Carles. Dayon. Yeah. Join the G's up in here. All right, we made space. We made space. We made space. Bear. What do I think of Austin FC finally sacking their coach? Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Good for them. If you got no one asked for the twerk off in the tier list. I put out a poll. These are just what you guys said. Brian White. I wanna let's look at the stats for Brian White. By the way, we only have 9 minutes left on the stream, so I gotta hurry. He's had some pretty damn good seasons. Second consecutive year of 15 goals. To me, he's slightly underrated. No, he's underrated. Ryan Gauld, in terms of best players in MLS, slightly underrated. Because I think people are starting to figure it out a bit more that he's underrated. Ryan Raposo. That's my boy. That's why I went to school with him. I got to be unbiased here. And being unbiased, he's very underrated. No questions asked. No. Ryan. Let's see. What's Ryan doing on FootMob these days? But he's another one of those guys. He's like a lesser version of Mo Farsi in terms of he's just a guy that buys in the system. 3 goals, 4 assists he's mainly like a left back. The thing is, he's a utility guy. And what's crazy about Ryan is I knew him in college as a 10. I mean, he was a 10. He was a center attacking midfielder. He was your Carles Gil. Carles Gil was a great comparison. I remember my freshman year of college, he got 15 goals and 7 assists, which are insane numbers for college. There's a reason why he was drafted before Daryl Dike, but then when he came to MLS, he was moved to, left back or right back, I feel like he's never gotten to truly play the positions that he's best at, but he's done a great job at those. So you know what? He's going back up here. Ty Baribo. I mean, people know about Ty Baribo now. But he's extremely underrated on his national team even. Because they have a bias against players that play out of the native country. And that's why, when Gadi Kinda was at SKC, he didn't get called up a lot. And Ty Baribo, he got called up, but he's not playing, even though he's the highest informed player. And Baribo, he's the only reason why Philly has even a remote chance at making the playoffs this year. He's the reason why they made it so far into the Leagues Cup. He is one of the most underrated players in MLS right now. Yauder Mendy, he's overrated, bro. When he came to Dallas, everyone thought he was going to be goated with the sauce. He's not. We're going to do that. Everyone thought he'd be goated with the sauce, but I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's been that great for Dallas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe he's been good. What's tomorrow's stream? We're going to do more FIFA. More Road to Division 1. John Herdman is slightly overrated. Alonso Martinez. Did you guys know that Alonso Martinez has 16 goals this year? You want proof? No one's talking about how this man has 16 goals and 3 assists in only 25 matches. He's been a big bright spot and a big reason why NYCFC's gone on the run they've been on over the last few months. He's very underrated. We're going to have to organize this a bit because we got big 3. I need to move at least one of the spots. Let's see. The digs. Hmm. I got to move 1. And if I move 1 down, I got to move all down. Let's move Diggs down. Let's move White down. That's good for now. Almost heaven, Orange County. Why am I forgetting lyrics? Santa Ana River, County Road, take me home to the place I belong. Orange County, soccer mama, take me home, County Roads. So let's talk about Orange County. So Orange County SC, obviously, you know, I'm involved with them, and it's been a terrific experience. The club, we're not playing very well right now. We've had serious injuries, but this isn't about how the team's playing. This is Orange County as a club. Orange County SC as a club is the most underrated club in the world. Do you know why? We are covering an area of Southern California where if it was in England, would have like 70 clubs. And we are the one professional club there in that area, which is awesome. But that doesn't make us underrated. What makes us underrated is the fact that we are producing talent better than a lot of MLS clubs are. Kobe Henry, for example, he's one of those guys that we shipped abroad. He's going to be killing it. Wondolowski playing in Denmark right now. We got guys. And Bryce Jamison, who is a youth international, great freaking player for us. Wait, I want to pull up a post about Bryce Jamison. My guy, Orange County. He's got interest from the Ganes. He's got interest from the Rapids. He's not going to the Rapids. I'm vetoing that. Eintracht Frankfurt, massive club, and then we have Feyenoord as, you know, our partner. But he is that dude. He's a U.S. Youth International playing for Orange County. We have a number of players, and we do a great job at producing young talent. But even beyond that, just the club vibes itself, man. I'm very connected to the club through music as well. I'm a punk kid, and you know, Orange County's home to a lot of the most legendary punk bands of all time. And the greatest collab in any sport is the Orange County SC Social Distortion. Y'all don't know about Social Distortion. One of the greatest bands to ever exist. And that collab is just so beautiful. And that's the thing. They know how to connect with the community. The fans, while small in size, are mighty. The vibes are immaculate. And we're getting some of the biggest soccer influencers out to our match because they're interested in seeing our club, not any other club in the U.S. So for that, very underrated. Orange County SC, forever underrated. I said what I need to say. Hell yeah, stream. So the schedule for the rest of the week before I finish up here is the schedule for the rest of the week is tomorrow we'll do Road to Division 1 Part 2. And then on Thursday, we're actually going to play Football Manager. And we're going to start an MLS team from scratch. And I'm going to teach you guys. So I may be Unk. in FIFA. But in terms of Football Manager and specifically MLS rules, because they have the real MLS rules. We have allocation money. In terms of that, I'm goated with the sauce. So I'm going to teach you guys a lot. Oh, reconnecting. And we're going to make Orange County SC for the brand. Anywho, Greg Vanney, man. Greg Vanney became the Galaxy head coach. I want to make sure. Ooh. Greg Vanney became the Galaxy head coach in 2021. Rough start. 2021 was not a good year. And for a while, he was doing both front office stuff and coaching. That's personally something I'm not a fan of, just in coaches in general. But look at what happened when he was just relegated to being a head coach, and he was just able to focus on that. The Galaxy went from 13th to 1st, and all the credit deserved should go to Will Kuntz. But also, Greg Vanney, man, he's done the job. And for so long, Galaxy fans were Vanney out, Vanney out, Vanney out. I never believed it. I felt like he just never had the perfect situation. And now that he has a perfect situation with the Galaxy, we're seeing how great of a coach he is. And, he's showing why he was so great with Toronto. So for me, and I think, he might enter top 5 MLS coaches of all time conversations if the Galaxy win MLS Cup this year or next year. But no one considers him as one of the greatest coaches. Galaxy fans even think he's terrible sometimes. I'm pro Vanney. For me, he's underrated. And now for the last one. I cannot believe the audacity you guys had by giving me this one.